Right, I will attempt to do this video yet again. It's just not going very well tonight. And I'm going to try and keep this fairly short because there's a ton of stuff to get through. Alright, I know there's people shouting at the screen right now saying, Dan, not another Hoover Dam Destruction Date video. Oh, that what are you doing, mate? You're off your rocker. Well, maybe I am. It seems like right now I'm on a breadcrumb trail, and where it's going to end is anybody's guess. Well, there's been an awful lot of breadcrumbs, so the loaf should be running out. I don't know. I don't know where it ends, but this, of course, this video is going to be titled something like, the 4th of November, Hoover Dam Destruction Date, right? And the point may not be that the Hoover Dam's ever going to blow up, and, the point may be to look at these references and metaphors and the way reality is connected together, and what it's trying to say is, come on, be a man and deal with the fiction, balance these two things. Balance the physical side of reality with the metaphysical side of reality, with the fiction. With great power, the knowledge that we have comes responsibility, and unfortunately, like a lot of scientists and inventors, they don't, and it's not just them as well. There's people that write laws out there, the legal system. With that power comes great responsibility. Unfortunately, people are just being irresponsible, basically. It's just like there's no boundary anymore, and this is a problem because every step you take further away from nature, the further away you get from balance. The thing that balances you is nature, and the further you get away from that, the more chaotic things get, the more crazy things get. And as you see in the news and the way reality is, we're all, what's drummed into you from an early age is, well, we need to be civilized, we need to be organized, all this stuff, everything that goes along with, fictional ideas. That's the very thing that's actually taking us away from nature and actually causing more of a problem. Okay, this idea of civilization and etc., etc. The problem is, the further you step away from nature, the further you step into the matrix, and the more corrupted it gets. It only goes in one direction, away from balance. It's just the way it is. Now, I've got a ton to get through here. So this date, okay, well, you've probably heard me mention the CRM 114 before, okay? And so here what we have is, this is just a reference to life in general, is when you have fictional ideas, i.e. the legal system, it's, these people are talking a different language to what man is talking, okay? And so the problem is, these people are meaning one thing, and these people, this is not really a thing. This idea is meaning one thing, and what ends up happening is this guy interprets incorrectly because he doesn't understand what this is. And he's using this machine over here, the CRM 114, to try and interpret what is going on. And unfortunately, all hell breaks loose when you do that. And it's the same with the legal system. You are trapped when you start listening to legal language, okay? Because you put your belief in that language, and then basically you're trapped. You can't, because you don't understand the way this thing works, you are trapped. So this is what reality is all about, is becoming free again, becoming independent of this thing, not dependent on the stuff that this thing provides, okay? And you've got to form a bridge between these two things, okay, rather than being trapped behind a dam, trapped within this thing, right? Enough of the enough of the preaching, the philosophical discussion, whatever you want to call that, and let's get back onto this date, right? So I believe that this thing here is a reference back to oh, I've got it up here somewhere. The CRM, there it is in Star Trek, in films, the CRM 114. Do I have a picture of it? I thought I did up here somewhere, and you can see what we're going to be getting through here in a minute. Well, right here, look. Dr. Strangelove is where it shows up first, I believe. And it actually might. Let's just click on it, actually, just very quickly. So this is the CRM 114. This thing is the device that either malfunctions, or what ends up happening is something goes wrong in the translation between this thing and the instructions for what's going on during the film. Yada yada yada. Cut a long story short, basically total global annihilation because of a translation issue, right? And again, we're back to 99 Red Balloons with the idea of a war breaking out over, a UFO that's not a UFO. And then what's the other? War games as well, where something's gone wrong, in the translation, or between man and machine, between the idea, the fictional idea, and what man actually really wants. Oh, so anyway, this thing, the CRM 114, right? So this is referenced in a bunch of films, right? So we've got that date. Oh, we'll get onto Des, and we'll get onto these things here in a minute. It's in Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. You remember that character called Quark that is a wheeler dealer? He sells a gun called the CRM 114. Did I say 116 a minute ago? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But I'm just, oh man, there's so many things to get through here. What else was I gonna? Let me just go back to Dr. Strangelove, actually, because I just want to make one little where was that? Calculator. Come on. Just go back to Dr. Strangelove for just 1 second, because I want to point out the rest of and here's the B-52, yeah, the thing that come over the the Super Bowl. They had that flyby. I've referenced this before in previous videos, and that kind of re-references back to iPet Go, and we're still in that date time frame for the Opet festival in Egypt, the Deluge festival, and the king being rejuvenated, etc. So all this stuff's still fitting together. But Dr. Strangelove, right? Dr. Strangelove. And it is a strange love that we have for the system, right? Now, the rest of this title, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, right? Now, when you get to a point of looking at this stuff so much, and you get to a point of having faith in balance, and having faith in being walking a sort of righteous path, or at least trying to, and you're putting a concerted effort into trying to do the right thing, right? So you've essentially got faith in balance, in faith in God, faith in Jesus, or however you want to look at it, right? You all of a sudden you do stop worrying about things, and in actual fact, you start seeing that I don't know if it's the only real way that things can be cleared up, but all of those things that draw us away from balance, all those luxury items, all those ideas and all those wants and needs and the cravings that we have, you got to go cold turkey, right? And what's just coming up right now? Thanksgiving, giving thanks. And what do you eat a lot of at Thanksgiving? Cold turkey. Or at least a lot of leftover turkey. That's what the addicted guy has got to do. Renton has got to, he's flushed his life down the toilet already. He literally goes into the toilet. And so you've got to go cold turkey. That stuff's got to be removed. Yeah. And so the idea of loving the bomb, the idea of actually kind of looking forward to the apocalypse, to having all that stuff removed, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I'm looking forward to it personally, but there will be an element there that you can understand the idea of like balance returning at that point, removing all that. I mean, there's just so much chaos right now that needs to be removed, and that's really the only way to do it. I mean, it's gone so far out of control to try and say to people, look, you need to put down all your gizmos and your gadgets and all that stuff that you need, and having the electric on all the time and night, and leaving the tap running, and do you know what I mean? The excess consumption, which is greed, is sloth, is all those things. That stuff's got to be removed. Yeah, that's the stuff that pulls us away from balance. So this title is it's a pretty deep title, really. Anyway, I'm waffling way too much. I really want to get back onto actually the references and the references in this chart of Lorraine that I go on about all the time. So, with that being said, the CMR 114. Let's look at some of the other what I did have some stuff up here, and we'll get onto the Crow in a minute. And we'll get onto some of the numbers. Oh dear, fandom. Maybe this has got it on here. So you can see it's pretty much in every Kubrick film, maybe. I don't know. It's probably in Apocalypse Now somewhere. I don't know. Is that Kubrick Apocalypse Now? What one am I thinking of? The one where I can't remember now, actually. I'm having another meltdown here with the brain. Too much things to think about. But anyway, he does one of them Vietnam films, doesn't he? And I think it is Apocalypse Now. Gosh darn it. And so yeah, there you go. Another Apocalypse Now, you just can't write it. Anyway, it's referenced in several Eyes Wide Shut. What else here? Clockwork Orange. Space Odyssey. Etc, etc, etc. And of course, the other place it's at is Back to the Future. It's actually right here in the opening scene. And before I go on, this last clock in that scene, it doesn't really appear to be 11, 4 minutes. Potentially it could be 4 minutes to 11. I don't know. Or it could be 3 minutes to 11. I'm not quite sure. It does look like it would be one of those numbers, though. So that's kind of interesting. And of course, the CMR 114 is referenced right here. And quite interestingly, when Marty comes to turn on the amp, which of course, if I could get to the right spot, because this is actually a better picture of it than what I had up. Here he is. Here's the number here. He has to put the key in to turn that thing on. Of course, we have the radioactive nuclear reference right before it, and of course, you've And in fact, in the start of War Games, they show the clip where they've both got to put the key in and turn the key to arm the CRM 114. So this has got to be turned on. It's got to have the key. The key has to go into the slot. Yeah, you're getting the references here. I don't know. Anyway, it's right here in the start of Back to the Future, right? And of course, this thing blows up, and then we have the phone call from Doc. 25 minutes late for school. Right. Okay. All been covered before. So of course, so the 4th of November. Okay, it's what's interesting about the 4th of November, Dan? Let's look at some of the dates, right? Let's look at the calendar first. So we had this 131 that's referenced in the last video. I talk about it, and it's it's on the front of the train in Back to the Future. It's on the side of the train. 131, right? That happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4 days on, or is it 5 days including that? So we can kind of get a reference there. But what I want to point out is that this day here is Halloween, right? Okay, so this is the Eve date. Okay, 131. We've got a reference to the Eve. And then we've got All Saints Day. And what is the saint? Apart from being Roger Moore 007, the saint. The saint is usually a martyr. It's usually somebody that has died for a righteous cause, That's what a saint is, right? And so we have a day that is in remembrance of saints, I guess. I don't. It's just called All Saints Day, is all I know about it, really. But this is interesting because the saint is the man that has to, it's that idea of dying on the cross again, It's the idea of being reborn, right? And the saint is what dies. Okay, so 4 days on from that, as in Lazarus, so we've got a total of 4 days, is the 4th of November, yeah, 114. And so what we've got is that this is now fits quite nicely for a rebirth day of the saint. I just thought that was interesting. What else do I want to say about this? So that fits quite nicely. So we've moved on. Again, what's been in the news lately? This bloody Rust thing with the shooting. I mean, if you know anything about guns, the whole idea of this happening is absolutely ridiculous. And even the reference of what this reference is back to, I can't remember if I touched on this or not in the last video, but this film, not this film, where is it? The Crow, right? The Crow with Brandon Lee, yeah? And of course with the Let's Go Brandon thing going on in the news right now. Are you going to don the brand, or not, basically? I don't know. What brand are you going to wear? Are you going to wear the Brandon Lee? Are you going to don the brand of the Lee, which is, what's the Lee? Just flip that word around, it's L, yeah, God. Or are you going to wear the brand of the Matrix? The whatever they're going to do, the tattoo or whatever it's going to be. That's the question you've got to ask yourself. So we've had, a double reference to Brandon Lee, and there's a little, I'm like, what? I'll go back and watch The Crow. It's been like years upon years since I've seen that film, and I couldn't even remember what the hell really happened in it, apart from the dude was getting revenge for being murdered, basically. Well, spoiler alert, this dude is resurrected. Huh? So we've got a direct reference to the resurrection again. He literally crawls out the ground. Dead man walking. And Basically, this guy is the karmic retribution, is the karmic consequences of what happens if you're going to stay in the system, if you're going to be one of the controllers. This dude's coming after you. And we have the reference to the corona, the crow, yeah? The black version of the dove, yeah? So this thing with the rush shooting, of course, you know, we've got a few other little references in here with the Bonanza. I think Bonanza was in somewhere up north in Nevada. The TV show Bonanza. And I think it was Virginia City. But anyway, you know, little references like that. And there's another little reference actually with the crow and what do I want to say? With the crow and oh, one more thing, you know, Brandon Lee's father, Bruce Lee, Bruce Almighty, yeah, the father, and this is the son. You know, sometimes you can't write this stuff really. And so, what was the other reference I was just about to say before I got distracted by that reference? No, I can't remember. Oh, whoa. Gee whiz. I can't remember what the reference was now. Sometimes, you know, I'm just going around in circles anyway with these references. Oh, that was the other thing. Yeah. I watched the film, and the credits are rolling at the end of it, and one of the executive producers, yeah, was a Baldwin. I mean, the chances. What are the chances, you know, that a Baldwin helped produce this, and that the producer on Rust was Baldwin? Okay. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's enough on the Crow. There are several other references in there, like Winston's in there from Back to the Future. And there's a few other people that are in there that's, you know, it's interesting. You know, to be quite honest, we're going round in circles with the references with this stuff. But the other interesting thing was in the film, the character Eric Draven was due to be married to whoever I can't remember the wife's name. They were due to be married on Halloween. I believe it was Halloween. So again, you know, that reference to 131, all right, and the white wedding, and then the honeymoon would be 111, and you know, of course, the snake being born, and then the resurrection. So that's just interesting, you know, the Eve falling into the Eve on 131, okay. And again, with the train falling into the valley on 131, you know, what does the train look like? You know, it's it's like a rocket going along a track, you know, like an arrow going along a track. The arrow is the phallus going into the valley below. It's all the same bloody references, okay? I don't know how many more ways I can explain them. Right, so we've got this reference to the crow. Oh dear, I don't know. What else do I want to talk about on this? So we've done that. Yada yada yada. The 114. I want to just talk. This is interesting on the 114. I'll tell you, this is actually quite interesting. So I put this CRM in the Gematria, and it comes up to 34 and 47, which is very, very interesting because let's go to the chart. 47 is Independence Day, the 4th of July, which is on both sides of this balance point. Yeah, so it's heavily referenced, and so that's in there, and also the 34 or 43 here, right? which is a completion of the Fibonacci 1 to 10. So these are totals that are running down here, and this is the total for the Fibonacci sequence, and also the total here, which is 55 and 88 added together is 143, which is also pi, and this will become become relevant in a minute, because pi is to do with circles and cycles and coming full circle on things. Anyway, so bear these numbers in mind, and let's bear in mind this set of numbers here, the 1 2 3, because the 1 2 3 is at the start of the Lucas set of numbers, as is pi on the underside here, on this what I call the pi row here. We've got the 314 right here of pi, which is again this number here, and it also occurs right here in the Lucas set of numbers. So almost straight away we have pi referenced again. Pretty interesting stuff. But anyway, bear these numbers in mind. Some of these numbers, okay, and I'll try and flip backwards and forwards, but this is where I'm going with these numbers. And 68 here, or 86, we're going to look at, because this is the number of man, right? 666, 180, top score on your dartboard, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, what do I want to do now? Let's go back to this, because I don't want to be too long on this. So this CMR thing, let's just do this one thing first before we get totally into it. And of course we've got the golden ratio here, and we've got that 20 that's at the bottom of the table there. I just said triple 20, yeah, top score. Okay, what do I want to say here? I want to do, for some reason I was like, what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a reverse gematria thing. I'm going to take the 114, I'm going to go backwards with it now, and I'm going to convert it back into letters, so that I can look at any potential anagrams that are in here with the CRM. Because the only thing I can get from CRM right now is that it's another crumb. Crumb. I don't know. Just another breadcrumb. I'm not sure. Or is it the mother of all breadcrumbs? Don't know. So I said to myself, let's change this into an A, and then D is 4. So we'll put a D there, right? And immediately I'm like, okay, we've got dam in here. So I'm like, I'll put dam in so you can see. So we've got rid of this, we've got rid of this, and we've got rid of this M, which leaves CRA. Okay, and immediately, well, there's only a couple of things you can get out of this really. CAR, the car, the thing that ferries us about in our day-to-day lives. It's that shell that we're inside all the time. Marty uses it to time travel. It's the automobile is kind of the epitome of the 20th century, of the 21st century now. It's kind of like, it's almost like it's one of the standout inventions, so it's an important thing, and it's the thing that gives you protection in your day-to-day life, and it allows you to do all the things you want to do, right? Anyway, that wasn't what was interesting, because I'm like, well, let's change them letters around a bit more, and this is what we get. We get the arc, yeah? And again, the arc, the arc is the bridge between both sides of reality, right? Not to mention, it's the thing that puts Marty back into his, takes Marty back to the future. That spark, the arc, yeah. So some pretty interesting, very simple anagrams, but I don't want to say, just very simple, but very very interesting. So this is the question: Do you want to be that ark? Do you want to become the ark that floats on the water, that balances things? You know, two animals, 2 by 2. Yeah, be the Noah, and you know, walk on water, essentially be on top of the water in your, you know, on your ark, the bridge over troubled water. Yeah, connecting both sides of reality, be able to deal with the fictional side of reality and the physical side. Or do you want to be stuck in the dam and washed away in the deluge? I don't know. You know, that's, you know, when you're stuck in that dam, remember what happens. You go mad. Yeah, that's what that thing is, backwards. It's completely mad. The system is completely mad. And of course, we've had the references to mad cow disease. You know, the cow, the mother cow, yeah, the moon, yeah, that cow, the sacred cow. Yeah, this is why the cow's so important in certain religions. The sacred cow, yeah. That's why we had that reference to mad cow disease there several years ago, because that's what's happened to the system. It's gone completely mad. It's turned from a balanced ark into mad cow, right? You you know what happens in Space Odyssey? Hal, not the cow, but Hal goes mad, right? Right at the end when Dave turns him off. Well, not right at the end, but in the middle where Dave turns him off. You know, Dave's already undergone that ritualistic death, yeah. Um, and the ritualistic death there is Dave and Frank are alive on the space station, and Hal kills Frank. Yeah, that's the ritualistic death of man there. Yeah, Frank Poole. Yeah, Frank being France, being the decimal system, being the fiction, the blue color. Yeah, Frank dies. Frank Poole. Yeah, water Poole. So Frank has to die. Yeah, and then Dave comes to his senses and turns Hal off. Right? Yeah, it's all the same stuff. You know, you can watch a million reviews of what Space Odyssey is about, and they won't tell you that in that review. You know, so this is what happens. You know, Hal's gone mad. Who's going mad now? Britney Spears. You know, who else is going mad? Biden. He's going. You know, he's losing his mind. Dave, I'm losing my mind, Dave. That is Biden right there. He's losing his mind, and it's to show you what the system is, how crazy the system is. Okay, enough waffling. But you can see that now, right? Okay, hopefully maybe you can see that. So I thought that was interesting. Two other things with the 114, and when we convert this stuff back, we've got pi back in here, yeah? And we've also got the 18 in here. So we've managed to pick out some numbers that reference 11, 18. Yeah, there's an 11 there and an 18. I hope you can see my cursor. There's the 18 and there's the 11. And then you've got a 4, 413 for oh bloody hell. Come on, Dan. For pi. And there you go. You got a leftover 3 for the Holy Trinity. I mean, come on. You just can't write. I mean, this is just insane, really, how simple this is, yet how much meaning there is in it. Anyway, do I want to say anything else about this? No. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. And the double 2 again. Don't forget, with the dam, you've got 2 inlet towers on each side. Yeah, a double 11 or a double 2. Again, interesting. You know, they link those 2 inlet towers together on the Hoover Dam. They put them as pairs, so you know you've got a 22 reference there, or a 1-1 and a 1-1. Okay, and that will become relevant here in a minute, because again, you know, that those inlet towers, you know, is the clock tower, those pillars at the clock tower, and you've got, you know, on one side of the doorway you've got 2 pillars, and on the other side of the doorway you've got 2 pillars, and you've got a total of 4 pillars, and they're grouped in a group of 11 and a group of 11. If you can follow what I'm saying, yeah. So you've got that reference to 114 again. Right. With that being said, let's go to the date itself. Here we are, and we've got this 3-8 reference again. Right. I watched a film the other day. Just this is random, right? I watched this film, right? Buckaroo Banzai. For whatever reason, mainly because it was a BB, I think, and I think there was maybe a little an 88 reference there or something. I'll watch it. And we've got RoboCop here, Peter Weller. This is the end of the film. And right at the end of the film, he's coming over a bloody spillway. Again, you just can't write this stuff. Look at the other guys that are in this. Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Lloyd. We've got the Doc in it. And there's a few other people as well. But Christopher Lloyd's playing John. Jones is the one. Yeah, that's what it boils down to. That name, Big Booty, Big Booty, and that's where you got to come out of, the big booty. Yeah, and again with the reference to the boot, all the stuff that happened in the boot of Italy. All those references we had earlier on in the year, and again with the 3 legs of the Triskelion of Lake Mead, the big booty, yeah, and that's what you actually need to kick up, is the big booty. But that's what you've got to come out of, the big booty. And even that Colorado thing, the Kroger super shooting, didn't that guy have a red leg, a bit like CP3O or C3PO? I can't get there. I'm so dyslexic. But that was a red arm he had as well. Whatever. Anyway, a silver leg. But anyway, a reference to a boot again. I don't know. Okay. This film's worth a watch. It's really cringeworthy. I say it's worth a watch. I mean, I really had to force myself to sit through it. In fact, it's not worth a watch. It's actually really crap. Let's be honest. It was terrible. But there's some interesting bits and bobs in it. It's not. Yeah, don't even bother watching it. Basically, the start of it really got me interested in the film, in carrying on watching through it, because this guy's spoiler alert, he has a machine that's able to transverse dimensions. It's very there's a lot of symbolism that's very similar to the DeLorean in Back to the Future. So the time machine there. So and there's a lot of other references to other films in this, like They Live is embedded heavily in this film. So it's definitely interesting to watch. It's not much. It's cringeworthy. I think it's supposed to be slightly comical, but it's like a comic book thing, I think, and it's supposed to be kind of comical. Yeah, it's supposed to be funny, that kind of comical as well. But it's you end up laughing at how terrible it is more than anything. Oh, I think I've done that one to death as well. The 88 is heavily referenced in it. Where do I want to go? And they have a flux capacitor that happens to be in there as well. So here's another film with the CRM 114 referenced in it. This is Men in Black 3. I haven't seen this film, but I come across this reference, and this guy's breaking out of the jail that you're in, breaking out from behind the bars, and he's on the moon. It's a lunar prison. So I mean, you know, if you can't see the references, I don't know what to say. You know, it just, you know, it's right there. I want to go back to the numbers again now. So I kind of got off track. Oh, that's why I started talking about that bloody Buckaroo Banzai, because in that they heavily reference War of the Worlds and that Orson Welles, again a fake event, and that was 1938, I believe, and I think that's what they say in the film. But that again, we're referencing back to the 38 right here, and keep that number in mind, because I'm going to show you something else here in a minute with the number 114. But 38 and 308 right here, bear that in mind. But 38, again, 83 was the year that the spillways were flowing at the Hoover Dam, and we've got this reference to the War of the Worlds in 1938. Quite interesting. So, what do I want to look at here with this number, right? So I've explained most of that already. I want to look at now going some of these numbers like the 68, or 86, which is right here. Jenny 8675309. These set of numbers. I'm not going to do all of them, but you're going to see some of these numbers. Try and just take a photographic memory image of this now, and we're going to go through some of these numbers. Bear this number in mind. Bear this number in mind. I can't do every number here, but if you were to do it yourself, you'll see what's going on. Where do I want to go back to? Go back to this now. So I've already put in minus 86. Now this is interesting. Okay, so we're minusing 86. So that number that's in the number 8 row, and it's also in the number 6 row. Okay, so the two numbers of man, the 8 and the 6, two of the numbers of man, let's put it that way. It takes us back to 810, and August 10th. Let me just show you what that date is, right? August 10th. Now, if you are with my, if you've seen my other videos, you will know that there's a date that corresponds with this August, the 222, which, by the way, the 222 is wrong one. That was my first attempt at this video. It just didn't include enough stuff, which is going to get deleted. This column here sums to 222, so that's important to know. And then these two columns, of course, this is the sums here, and this 143, the pi number again. This is what was I going to say? This is a total number for these two combined, yeah. And of course, it's up here as well, and it's all over the place. Pi is. But anyway, this 222 has a corresponding date, and the corresponding date is May. If I could get to it. Where is it? Here it is. Where is it? Oh, I've got to go down a bit more, bloody hell. May the 23rd, right? Here's the corresponding date. May the 23rd. Now, I got all bent out of shape earlier on in the year when I saw, when I was looking at this date, because that was, again, it's another good date for something to happen. I hate to say good date, but, and here's this May 23rd in the table here, It directly references these two things, yeah? It's the next place on from 1118, the next row down, okay? You just sum this to 5, and this makes you the 23rd of May, yeah? And this also, you'll have to go back and look at my other videos, because this also fits in with some other dates here. So it kind of cross-references that this is 523. But that's back in the archive. You'll have to go and look at that separately. I'm not going into that now. But anyway, that is super important, right? The 222. And again, that date 8/10 is encoded on the $1 bill. Yeah, so I was just talking about John, yeah, and Jones, and the one owns the $1 bill, Buckaroo, Buck. you know, we're back to that $1 bill fold that I did. And so I wonder if I've got, where did I have that up? Is this, where's my video on here? No, more hidden dates. It's on here. And I'll make this big so you can see it better. Full screen down. Now, see how slow this computer is? Oh my gosh, now we've lost. Why is it doing that? Escape. Why has it gone back to there now? Useless. I don't know. Oh, pause that. Pause it. If I go big again, will that do that again? Oh, let's not even bother trying to do that again. Look, you can probably see it. Go to that video and you can have a look at it. More hidden dates. But here we are, right? If we just focus in on what's surrounding the 1 on each one of these things, we've got a 10 here, and we've got an 8. 8/10, yeah? That's super interesting because we can convert that over to into October now as well, and we'll see where that lies in October in a minute. But this is a reference here in the dollar bill, and so I've waffled on about that date before, of course, because it's 222-143. So this is a super important sort of reference here, and what is inside of there is a set of 1s here and a set of 1s here. So an 11 and 11, yeah. Now we're thinking to the actual physical dam itself again, with the inlet towers being an 11, a 1 and a 1, and a 1 and a 1 on the other side. And guess what? This could be the dam itself here if you just turn, you turn things around just a little bit. And we're back to, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're back to November referenced 11. I mean, stranger things, I guess. I don't know. Is it in the $1 bill? I don't know. There's also, you can also pick out a 1031 reference here as well, because the way this is shaded, you can almost pick out a 3 here as well. Okay, so this fold here is pretty interesting. Now, with that out of the way, what else do I want to go to? I'm thinking. Gosh, I want to go back to I want to do some adding and subtracting, right? Some more adding and subtracting. So let's do 68. See where that takes us to. Okay, the 28th of August. I can't think of anything actually that's that interesting with the 28th of August. Let's do that 1, 2, 3. Let's minus that off. Okay, this was interesting. This was the 4th of July. So back to Independence Day now, which is in the table. Yeah. So we've got the completion of a cycle here, 1, 2, 3, which returns us back to, from this date, returns us back to July 4th. That's super interesting. In fact, I was like, wow, that's, but again, is this just another lead on breadcrumb? Let's add on 1, 2, 3 days. March the 7th, 37. Nothing super interesting about that. It is in the table, 37, and that is L. That's the L number again, taking us back to God. Yeah. Flip this whole number upside down is EL. Yeah. Look at it in a mirror, or however the hell you have to do it to make it. I think you just look at it in a mirror. So yeah, that's interesting. What else was interesting? There was some other numbers. Well, I can't remember what they were now. Did I plus on 86? I can't remember. What was add-ons 86? Oh, January the 29th. That's interesting as well. Because we've got Kobe dying 3 days before this, yeah, or well, yeah, on the 26th. So you've got that reference back to Kobe's death almost being like a reference back to the start of the end cycle, maybe. Yeah, the death of Kobe, and the actually this is interesting because it's 86, the number of man again, another number, takes us back to. I'm just on the fly here right now thinking about this. So you've got Kobe Bryant being born, dying, as the martyr again on the 26th, and so this would reference the rebirth date here. This 29th of January would be a rebirth date, yeah, to do with Kobe. And so 3 days later, or 40, however you want to look at it, 3 or 4 days later, depending on how you're counting things. So at the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th, be 4 days, yeah. Lazarus again. And who else? This I found this interesting. I have him up here somewhere. Where the hell's he gone? Come on, dude. Des Bryant. Des Bryant, right? He's born on the 4th of November, yeah. So we have a reference back to another Bryant, and you get this number 88. This is the number he wears. He's gone to the Ravens, yeah. The Ravens, yeah. The Crow, the Raven, Eric Draven, wasn't it? In the Crow. Okay, I mean the references are insane. Number 88. Yeah, when you see this hit 88 miles, you're going to see some serious, you know what. Okay, try and keep it PG. So this Des Bryant, an interesting reference for sure. There's a few other. I mean, I don't know if there's any interesting with him or not. I can't really remember. Anyway, Des Bryant Wikipedia. No, I don't even want to go into him. But we're talking 88, right? We're talking Bryant again. Oh, let's just hang on a minute, because look at his name. Desmond, yeah? The moon again, yeah? And it's Desmond Demond. Oh, I don't know what to say about it. A double D moon. Double D moon. Bryant. Ah. Right, what else? Born 88 as well. I forgot to say that. So he's wearing the 88 shirt and he's born in 1988. Just unbelievable. What else? Do I even dare go down through him? 1 meter 88 height. Oh dear, dear, dear. Right. Anyway, let's not get too sidetracked with that little thing. Oh, back. I guess I should jump just while I'm on it and thinking about it. Let's just quickly. We'll go back to the dates here in just a second. So we did that. So that's the Kobe. There's a little bit of Kobe for you. Oh, this is also Kobe. I had a discussion with somebody in the last comments section, which is interesting. You might want to go read the comments on the last section. There's some interesting stuff there about this. Now, it was Katie or Katie. Can't remember. Anyway, here we go. He or I assume it's a she mentioned 26 is iron, right? Well, iron would represent man, right? Iron man, iron in the blood. And in order to generate electricity, you need an iron core, right? So the core of the earth is iron, and then the outside you have your copper windings, right? So the copper surrounds. So the copper is Venus is the water, yada yada yada. But copper is 29, which Again, you can turn this P upside down and get Kobe, and you're also back to Cop, and oh, Buckaroo Banzai is RoboCop. You know, I mean, they're loose connections, but I mean, it just goes around in circles, circles and circles and circles. And there is some interesting stuff because um, Katie mentioned Catty. I'm not sure, and I say Katie or Catty because I know I've got somebody in my life that was also, we call her Cat. I don't know. Spelt a different way, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm waffling. Regardless, what was I just thinking about then? I lost my train of thought now. Oh, we had a little discussion on um, the Pop Tart thing, the Pop Tart story that's in the news right now, and there was another thing about the resurrection of. No, it wasn't called the resurrection of Martin Luther King, but it was Martin Luther King's granddaughter or something like that that was supposedly going to be president in the future or whatever. But the ideas that were there with the Pop Tart led that discussion back to Pulp Fiction, and there's a ton of references in Pulp Fiction, of course. Things that I've not got around to doing Pulp Fiction. There's even there's resurrection in that, with Mia having the needle through the heart, the shooting the arrow through the heart, through the eye, and being resurrected, returning from the dead. And there's a ton of toilet references with Vincent Vega, yes, Vincent Vegas, and the references to Elvis and Vincent being the dam, and then we're back to Holland and Vincent van Gogh, and that's all referencing Back to the Future as well. And there's just so many bloody references. You can just go around in circles forever, almost, looking at them all. But it's an interesting little bit of conversation that takes place there. And I've completely forgotten what I was going to go on about with this COP26 now. Damn, come on. Think. I don't know. I'm just going to get off this now because otherwise I'll be just waffling forever and ever and ever because it's probably already an hour long. And what other tabs have I got to get through here? I was going to mention Chuck Berry, right? Because Chuck Berry, this is Chuck Berry, the big, the reference to the guitar in Back to the Future, and the reference to the guitar here, and in The Crow. Again, in The Crow, there's a reference to the guitar, the 1/8, which is what this thing symbolizes. And you'll have a lot of references to sunglasses and glasses as well, because, of course, the physical object, this represents 1/8, and so do glasses represent 11/8, yeah? So, Chuck Berry, October 18th, yeah? Interesting. I've got some celebrity birthdays here as well. We got P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. Okay. Remember my earlier stuff about Stay Puffed? I don't know. There's some kind of reference there, maybe. We've got Matthew McConaughey. If I could say the name correctly. We've got a reference to the Lincoln. I just off the top of my head, the Lincoln Lawyer. What else? What other films you've been in as well? Oh bloody hell! Interstellar. That's almost. That's got connections to. Oh bloody hell! Space Odyssey again. And there's Des Bryant there. You know. Yeah, Jeff. How do you say that name? Jeff Probst. I don't know how you say that name. He's Survivor, isn't he? Isn't it Survivor? Oh dear. Now we've got a reference to Survivor. Isn't it called Survivor? The one on the island where they're all in that whatever. Oh, and look, there's Raymond's mother there. I mean, I don't know. There seems to be quite a lot of interesting celebrities. I don't even want to touch on all them other ones. Oh, jeez. Anyway, what else? What else have I got for 114? There was. I think I've done all these numbers in here. I mean, you can do. Oh, I wanted to go 25. Let's go the 25 days back. That Doc goes on about, being off on the clocks or whatever, and we get back to 10:10 or that 8:10 again, which I thought that was super interesting. And of course, the one place where we can't forget to reference a 1 and a 4 is. Do I have a picture of it? I thought I had a picture up. Back to Future, the clock tower. It's right here. Yeah. 10 and the 1-4. And what's interesting is in Back to the Future 2, they reference a double cross. So almost like 10:10, or from that you could sort of infer 114. I don't know. Anyway, mustn't forget though that 104 is right here. Now back to this. Sorry, this is all over the place. We're in June now, and I want to go back to November. And what did I want to look at? I think I've done all the dates. 47 days back. What does that take us to? September 18th. That's not that interesting. About 74 days back. And so you can see some of these dates are not really that interesting. There's August. There's an 8:10. So there's an 8:22 reference. The 2 and the 2. Remember the 22 on in the CMR gematria. So it's not that difficult to get some of these connections, but some of them are pretty good connections, I think. Pretty impressive connections. I think I've about done this one. Vegas, there was two more little connections. Laughlin, I guess that's how you say that, but it looks like Laughlin. In the Crow, he's a musician, and his album or single or whatever it is, one of his songs is called The Last Laugh, I think. I just thought that was interesting. And then get back to Buckaroo Banzai, and you have right at the start of Buckaroo Banzai, spoiler alert, they're in the desert, and they are, I don't even know if it's even in here. Hang on, let's zoom out a bit. They are at a place called Bullhead City. And straight away when I saw that, I happened to know that Bullhead City, there it is. It's just actually right below Laughlin or whatever the hell, however you say that. Which, that's super interesting. And then we've had all the other references to the Mojave Desert. Well, there's Mojave City right there. Anyway, gosh, I don't know what else to say. I think I've covered everything. That is absolutely amazing. I know when I get off of here I'll remember something. You know what? There was a couple of other things that were. There was one other interesting thing about 114, and it requires me doing a bit of calculating. I think I got all this stuff. That was back to oh, V for Vendetta. While I'm on the subject of Crow, right? Do I have it up here? The Crow mask. Okay. This idea of wearing the mask. This is the persona. Yeah. acting in a play, wearing this mask, yeah. That same idea comes up here again with V for Vendetta, which is heavily loaded with references, yeah, to what's going on now and potentially to Damn Day, Doomsday, Damn Day. Again, that same idea of wearing the mask. It's interesting, isn't it? Just a little connection there as well with those masks. So anyway, and of course with Joe Biden right now being the Joker, and this is, you know, again very Joker-esque. What else do I want to say? Bloody blum 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 blum. Let's go to the calculator now, and let's just finish up on some calculations with this. Oh, that 822 that we were just on. Here it is. 114 times 2. Let's do some other ones. Let's do 114. Let's do times 8, because 8's interesting, of course, isn't it? Times 8 equals, and you're going to say, what the hell, Dan, that's not that interesting. But if you flip that up the other way, if you did this on a calculator, what you would end up, if you flip that around, flip your calculator up the other way, you're going to end up with 216 there. And again, 216, another interesting number. Let's go to 216 so I can show you what that is. 216 is a date that JL on Jurassic Liars goes on about. Here it is, 216. It's 84. Yeah, the clock tower, the 10, which is the 8. It's on the clock tower again. We've got a reference back to that with the CMR numbers here. What other? Hell, there was some other numbers here. Oh, this was what I thought was interesting as well. And I clear that out, Dan. I did 114, right? And then I did times pi, okay? And the answer was 358.14, right? Well, okay, what's the relevance there, Dan? It seems like 114 gets you very close to 360 degrees. Very close indeed to a full circle. In fact, you're 1.86 off. 1.86. Remember the 86? You're 1. Well, I'm only going to do 2 decimal places here, but you're 1.86 off. That is super interesting. Okay, if you just hang on a minute, if you just look at the numbers of pi as well. Okay, give it up in big. Here's the 141 right here, right at the start of pi. Yeah, the other number that's going to get you fairly close as well is 115. Okay, and it's a toss-up between those two numbers because they're, you know, both pretty close. I think doing the dividing there that I just did. Did I just do? I just did the times in. That gets you actually 1.15 gets you closer. But if you go back the other way, clear that out. If you're following what I'm doing here, if you do 114, no, what did I do? If you do 114 divided now by pi, so if you back divide the other way, okay, look, 36, right? So we want to get as close as we can to 36 because 360 or 36 is a full cycle, right? So that gets you pretty close again to 36. And if you put 115 in there, that will be a little bit further off. I think I'm getting that around the right way. So one does better one way, one does better the other way. But which one do you choose out of those two? Well, you know, if you go back to pi, the one you're going to choose is the one that comes first, yeah? You're going to choose 141, and it's right there. So it's super interesting. And the previous numbers that we had referenced, 311, right? And in Back to the Future, Doc says, can you meet me at the Twin Pine Malls at 1:15 a.m.? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I think that's pretty much it done to death. There's probably some other numbers we could look at here. I think if you minus, what's 37 days off of that? That was a set of days that I thought was interesting. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry to waffle even further. We're already into the date. Look at that. And sorry to waffle even further, but there was something else. What was that? Let me just think for 1 second. There was another reference to the 114. I can't remember what it was. Darn it. I think I'll just have to leave it there, otherwise we'll be here all night. But there is another, you can do a couple of other calculations there that'll take you to back to, what was it? Hang on, let me just do this. No, let's not even worry about it. Let's just forget that now. There is some other interesting stuff with it. I'll have to think on it another day. I'm getting a tickle in my throat now, and I'm going to start coughing like a bugger. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the film. I hope you enjoyed the. You're a real pro, Dan. You're doing films now. The video, and I mean, you know, I don't know what else to say. Is this just another breadcrumb, or you know, is this this reference to the CMR 99 red balloons some kind of miscommunication going to cause the destruction of the dam, or is this just the metaphor of what you need to learn about reality? You know, but I don't know if this is just another crumb or whether this is the crumb. I don't know. You'll have to be the judge of that, and you'll have to make your own minds up on it. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one, hopefully. Stay well. Don't get too worried about things. I know it sounds a bit doom and gloomy, but you know, if you've got faith and you understand what this reality is, there's really nothing to worry about. As long as you're going to walk, as long as you're going to be the righteous man, you know, and that's Jules. You know, decides he's going to be the righteous man, and you know, he survives, and Vincent goes down. So that's it. Cheers. Bye.